What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Billy Clint here. I'm about to do a little deck profile and discussion on this deck that I just built. Basically, a couple of my buddies off my team Out of Time, we were like having a discussion, and they were telling me that this deck got one card, and that one card brought this deck from tier 4 to tier 2. I'm like, there's no freaking way that this deck is a thing right now. And it was like, roll a dice on it. So I was like, roll a dice. I was looking for a 7, but as you see, I got a 10. But I rolled the dice on the deck, and I've been testing it, and I have to say, this deck has impressed me. I'm like beating Cleese, and I'm beating Shadal's. I'm like, wow, this was just a tier 4 deck. And out of one fucking card, out of Secrets of Eternities, and this deck has improved tenfold. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and do a profile on it. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. The deck I'm talking about right now is Volcanics. Volcanics got a new trap card from Secrets of Eternity. I'm going to go ahead and go over it. I picked up all this stuff to go ahead and test the deck, and it's doing really well right now. I am very shocked. So with that, here goes my profile. There'll be 3 Volcanic Rocket. This is your searcher for the trap card that came out in Secrets of Eternity. 1900 attack, 1400 defense. Basically reads, when this card is summoned, you can add a Blaze Accelerator card from your deck or graveyard to your hand. This deck is basically your searcher for your main card that you use in the deck. Next, you got 3 Firestorm Guard. This guy is very, very important. He recycles 4 Pyros back into your deck, and then you get to draw 2. Good draw engine, and gets back your main card that you're going to be using. I'm about to introduce next. Next will be 3 Volcanic Scattershot. It's hard to decide what the monster MVP the deck is, but if you think this is the deck to leave the MVP, Volcanic Scattershot, what it does is if it's sent to the graveyard by a Blaze Accelerator effect, your opponent takes 500 damage. Then when Scattershot hits the grave, Scattershot can activate its other effect, that if it's gone to the graveyard by Blaze Accelerator, then you can send 2 more Volcanic Scattershots to the graveyard and nuke your opponent's field. It's important for this because this does disruption plays on your opponent, and Blaze Accelerator, the trap card that came out, can be activated on your turn or your opponent's turn, which is nuts. So you wait for your opponent to set up Dante Virgil, then you go ahead and activate Blaze Accelerator to send this, and then you activate Volcanic's Scattershot's effect, send the other 2 from the deck. They take 1,500 points of damage, and they've lost all their monsters on the field. So, very good card. You do this to Cleese, you do this to Shadal's. This is the card that it just nukes everything. It's like it's Regeki basically, but you can do it on your opponent's turn too. Volcanic Scattershot, triple of those. It's basically just once it's sent to the graveyard, if it's in the graveyard, you can pay 500 life points and add a Volcanic Shell from your deck to your hand. This is good because you play stuff like Wing Blast in the deck, so it's fodder for stuff like that. Plus, helps build up your graveyard faster for plays from the Royal Guard guy that helps you recycle. So. 2 counter. I'm not really a fan of this card. If I didn't have to run it, I wouldn't. But Volcanic counter is a win condition. See, when you take battle damage while this card is in your graveyard, you can remove it from play, and if there's another fire monster in your graveyard, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the amount of battle damage you took. So let's just say your opponent has Dinklesec on the field, you have a small beater on the field, and they hit you with Honest, and you're ahead of them in the game when it comes to life points. You have these 2 in the graveyard, you remove them from the graveyard, they just took a shitload of damage. So, alright, that's and I do have one proxy. This is supposed to be Volcanic Doomfire. I'm still looking for one. He is basically your main beater of the deck. He's your big boss. He's 3,000 attack, 1,800 defense. He can't be normal or set. He can only be special summoned by sending the trap card, Blaze Accelerator Reload, basically, to the graveyard. Then you special summon this guy. Your opponent must attack into this card when able. And when this card destroys a monster, then you send all your opponent's monsters to the graveyard or destroy, and they take 500 points damage each on top of the battle damage they take from this card. So that card's a beast. It's your main boss monster in the deck. A lot of people run two. I just run one. Because I'm running a Fire Hand and Ice Hand engine. It's been running well. I was running Summoner Monks, and there's some situations where I'm like, I wish I had Summoner Monk, but these just, they're not great, this format, but blowing up back row is something that you need to do. They have skill drain on the board. You're like, this is a bad day for me. So these do well when it comes to getting rid of monsters on the field that you need to get rid of, or back row that you need to get rid of. Alright, so now I'm on the spells. Snatch Steal. Snatch Steal is awesome. I like it. Steel Dante overlay with Downer Magician. One Regeki helps with blowing up the field on your when your opponent has an overflowing field. Everybody knows what Regeki is. Triple MST. The gotta blow up the scout. That's basically what that is. Triple Pot Duality. That's my spell lineup. Trap lineup. The 1-ups, 1 Fiendish, 1 Time Space, 1 TT, 1 Compulse, 1 Solemn. These are my 1-ups. Alright, now the trap card that came from Secret of Eternity. This is that Blaze Accelerator card, but it's Blaze Accelerator Reload, but it's treated as Blaze Accelerator while on the field and in the graveyard. You're definitely your MVP of the deck. This is what made the deck from tier 4 to tier 2. I advise you guys to try this deck out. If not this deck, just try different versions of it, but this is awesome. Basically, you flip it over. It's treated as Blaze Accelerator on the field. During your opponent's main phase or your main phase, you can send a Pyro to your graveyard to draw a card, and as you noticed, a lot of the Pyro stuff activates when sent to the grave, or you can just use it to plus. It's awesome, but you can only activate one. You can't have 2 of these open up on the field at the same time, so you can like chain off of them or something. But you can only have one of them activated at a time, basically. Double Wing Blast. With all the advantage you get with this deck, it's basically helps when it comes to bouncing stuff back on top of the deck. It's basically, this is a stun deck, so in case you guys haven't figured it out, it is a stun deck. Double in the Band Played On and 1 Vanity's Emptiness. Now, we all know, people are like, why are you playing the 2 in the Band Played On? Because this bitch is like $30. I've been DNing it a lot, and on DN you can put in whatever cards you want. Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro, you can whatever cards you want, so you know while I'm playing this online, it's triple Vanity's Emptiness. But I'm definitely trying to get 2 more Vanity's Emptiness, so if there's cards you guys need, just let me know, and I got you. There was a time and place where I had 5 Vanity's Emptinesses, but you know that Bandless rolled around, and I was like, oh, this Vanity is going to get hit, and I got rid of them, and now I'm like salty as fuck, but whatever. Extra deck, 1 Gotchi, 1 Mech Lord Engineer, Dire Wolf, 1 Utopia Booster, Utopia Root, sorry about that, 1 Alucard, 1 Dweller, 1 Chain, 1 Anarch, 1 XYZ Rebellion Dragon, 1 Downard, actually 2 Downard, sorry about that, I'll tell you why I got that in a second. 1 emerald for recycling. Castell to bounce shit off the bounce shit like World of the Creed. People try to get me sometimes with that. 1 Gaga Cowboy and 1 Ragnar Zero. Side decks I usually don't believe in showing, but considering that you guys have been patient with me because it's been going on, I'll go ahead and show you my side deck, show you some ideas. Mind Control. I can't remember his name right now, but he's running Scythe Control. He ended up winning the ARG fucking event, the main ARG thing. I seen him running in the Scythe Control. He ran Snatch and Mind Control, which I thought was an awesome idea. So big ups to you, man. I've been testing this in the side, maining it whenever when I go against Burning Abyss, and it's been working very well. I like Snatch Steal, Mind Control, taking their Dantes, overlaying them. That's why I got 2 Downer Magicians in my extra. Double Spell Shattering Arrow. We all know what that's for. More Burning Abyss Hate, Stygian Dirge. If you guys don't know what this does, it reduces the level of all face-up monsters on your opponent's side of the field by 1. So they go ahead and bring down Tour Guide and Special Summon Squarm or whatever, and then you flip that, their monsters are level 2 instead of level 3, so they can't go into Dante place. Double Light Imprisoning Mirror. 1 Mistake for all the decks that search. 1 Non-Fusion Area. We all know what that's for. Fairy Wind. Double Shadow Imprisoning. Double Maxi. And double Flying Sea. As you notice, there's a lot of Burning Abyss hate in this deck because that is my hardest matchup by far. It's not easy for them, nor is it easy for me. It's usually a chess match because they can grind and OTK you real quick, and my deck is basically a grind stun deck, and I basically interrupt plays when you try to make them and burn you at the same time. But yeah, this is definitely a fun deck to run. Just show you what I mean. Usually how this deck runs is you if you have this in hand first turn, you summon that, you search out the trap card, play whatever traps you got. Next turn, activate this trap card, go ahead and depending on what your opponent's setting up with, you send the scatter shot. If they have a full field or whatever, because I've had that done to me. Full field, you send that, they take 500, and go through the deck, send 2 more. They take 1,000 and they lose their field. Plus you get the draw off of this, so it's really good. And you already got 3 pyros in your graveyard for the Royal Guard, so you only need 1 more pyro in there, and 4 or more, you can recycle all that shit back to the deck. So it's nuts. It's nuts. But that's me telling you about this deck. Go out and try it. I'm telling you, it's a good deck. It impresses. This is Mr. GG signing out.